If you're watching this video, it's because you're interested in getting your MFA in acting and maybe you don't know where to start, maybe you need some advice, whatever. My credentials are I got my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in my undergrad, and then I applied 3 times to MFA programs before I received offers this year. This year, I did accept an offer I was given, and it is to like a number 16 or number 17 nationally ranked school. So I'm very happy with that. And I don't know, I feel like I've been through the process enough times that I can give some sound advice. So here's going to be my advice. So straight off the bat, you want to apply to schools. Where do you start? Naturally, everyone thinks, oh, I need to go to Juilliard, I need to go to Yale, I need to go to Brown. That's not true. There's a ton of schools that are excellent schools that the tuition's actually free and that they'll pay you to go to these schools. Then I think is a better investment of time rather than some of these big name schools. You can apply to schools directly, but you can also do this thing called ERDAs. And essentially what ERDAs is like a football draft for acting and MFA programs. So what they'll do is you'll fly to Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, one of those, and you'll audition for about 15 schools at once, and they'll send people. So you'll probably be auditioning for like 25 people at once, and they're all recruiters for the school. And if they like you, you'll get a call back and you get to interview with the school, maybe move on to the second, third, whatever callbacks. So starting with preparation, this is probably the most time-consuming part. When you apply to the schools individually, you usually have to pay probably around $100 fee and write an essay for them and get your transcripts and get your recommenders, everything. That takes the most time. I recommend starting your applications probably 6 months, 7 months in advance, as fast as you can. See what the schools need, start working on it, because those essays will take up your time. Your recommenders will take time to send in your stuff. Start there. You need to start looking at monologues about 6 months in advance, also 7 months to be safe. You really want to love your pieces. I would recommend having about 6 pieces, which sounds like a lot, I know, but it really isn't, because what you want, and what I think is the best way to go about it, is you need a classical and a contemporary, right? You're going to want, you're going to want a comedic and a dramatic classical piece. You're going to want a comedic and dramatic contemporary piece. So that's 4 right there. Then you can have 2 floating. One classical that's you just like to do it. One contemporary that you just like to do it. Maybe it doesn't fit it exactly in a comedic or dramatic. It's somewhere in between. Something fun, something you like to do. When it comes to picking monologues, you are not required. You are not obligated to pick a piece that is so gut-wrenchingly painful. You don't need to pick a Viola Davis, Denzel Washington from Fences, because when you really think about it, you have about a minute, sometimes a minute and a half, and that's the sort of pressure that I think is counterproductive. If you think I really have to get these emotionally heavy pieces and I have to reach this point or else the monologue's not good, you're going to flop the day of, because you're going to be so stressed about how your piece, like I need to be like on a certain level. I need to show them that I can be Jessica Chastain. I can be this. I can be that. Your audition and your monologues are just supposed to show the best parts of yourself, because you're selling yourself in this audition. You're saying, hey, this is me. This is what I can do. They know you can do more, right? So you don't have to show it all in that audition room. They know you're just showing us a sampler of what you can do. So choose wisely. Choose pieces that complement you. I made that mistake the first time around auditioning. I really chose pieces that were difficult, that were like really difficult to pull off. You know, those are pieces that I can do in a show, that I've had rehearsals and I've had a lot of direction, things like that. But where I went wrong is like choosing these very high stakes, emotionally heavy pieces that like I end up stressing more of, like, can I even get to that point? And my audition reflects it, you know? It's like you're nervous of like, I don't know if I can get this done today, because some days I can do it, some days I can't. That's not the type of pressure you need on a big day like your audition day. It's not about doing something groundbreakingly hard. It's about showing your best side and showing, hey, I can do this and I can do it well. When it comes to rehearsing, and no one likes that part, rehearsing monologues is very difficult. My best advice is be as open as possible to things changing, you know. Don't start it one way and after rehearsing for a month, it's still that same way. Try different things. Try left field things, right field things you would never think of. Where the more you change the piece around, the more familiar you become with it. Once you do it a different way, with a different intention, with a different verb action, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's something to explore, you know, and you can find nuance in your piece that wasn't there initially. My way of rehearsing was really do the piece as many weird ways as possible for a week. I would want to be off book by week 3 and have my choices solidified by then. And around week 4, week 5 is when I start really timing myself, because mind you, you do get cut off, especially at ERTA auditions. They are very pressed for time. You have exactly 2 minutes. If you surpass that 2 minutes, you will get cut off, which is not the end of the world. It's really not the end of the world to be cut off. I would suggest trying to stay in that time frame as best as possible. If you get cut off and you have a sentence left, oh well, not the end of the world, but you don't want to be cut off at the crux of the drama. This is the biggest advice for your main audition. Practice your slate. Practice saying the playwright's name. Practice saying the play. Practice saying your name with the playwright and the play. I'll tell you right now. This is the format. Hello, my name is, insert your name, and I will be doing a piece from play by playwright. Thank you. That's it. And it sounds so simple, but the amount of times it will throw a recruiter off if you mispronounce the author's name, if you stumble on the title, which is like this is the first thing they're hearing. They don't want to hear you stumble in the very beginning before you even get your piece out, because even then you stumble in the beginning. Oh, I'm already screwed up. Oh God, like now I have to do the piece and I just stuttered. It's just bad all around. Your slate deserves as much rehearsal time as your monologue. You don't want to be messing up in the beginning. Now the audition. You made it to the audition room. You submitted everything. You have your pieces rehearsed. You're there. You're sitting. You flew from whatever city you're in this new city. You're probably by yourself. You're sitting around a bunch of people you don't know, waiting for your time. They are your enemies in your head, but they can also be friends, but you also don't know because you don't know any of these people. The audition room is very stressful, I won't lie. There's a lot of energy going on. For ERTAs, there's about 100 people in that audition room. For UCSD, for Yale, for Tisch, it's usually in a Hilton, and it's just a hallway of ballrooms. So everybody auditioning is sitting in the hallway. They hear you go into the room. They see you go into the room. Everybody watches you. I choked. My best advice, which a professor gave to me: do not talk to people in the audition room. You may be nice. They may be nice. That's not the time to make friends. When you're sitting waiting to go into your audition, that's not the time to be chit-chatting, to be, oh yeah, like I really like the color pink too. That's not that time. Maybe after, but before, you want to be to yourself, be as focused as possible, whatever that means for you. For me, it was putting my headphones in and closing my eyes and just focusing on myself, reviewing my words, reviewing my lines, maybe doing something physical. The biggest pitfall in throwing you off before your audition will be absorbing the energy of the nervous people around you. And I say it in a loving way. I say it in a way of self-preservation, because the person sitting next to you that you strike a conversation up with, to be nice, they might be super nervous and they're going to just want to talk to you, and you're going to end up spending your whole time, your 15-20 minutes waiting, getting all this energy from someone who's freaked out and stressed and it's like, I don't know. And that's going to affect you. You think it won't, but it will. Breathe deeply, focus on yourself. Another big thing is be prepared for your monologue to not go as how you rehearsed it. Your capability as an actor is defined as how truthful you can be in that given moment. So if your truth in that moment is, I'm tired, I'm going to work through my tired, make that a character choice. Your character's tired, working through your tired, and maybe that's not how you rehearsed it. But it's honest and it's truthful. Do your best, of course, to do it how you rehearsed it, but if at the end of the day, be prepared if things don't go exactly as planned, because they probably won't. Let's talk callback and interviews. I'm going to loop them in together and group them together, because sometimes your callback is an interview and sometimes it's just an acting callback. I had a callback my first year that it was straight up. I walked into the room and they said, what Shakespeare pieces do you have? I said, oh, okay, I have this, that. And that's where your 6 pieces that are memorized come in handy, because there's nothing that's more impressive than them saying, what else do you have? And you saying, well, I have this. What do you want? And that is impressive, because it's like, oh, okay, this girl came prepared. She's letting me pick. That's how confident she is. Let's see her do this. They might ask to show the same pieces. They might ask for different pieces. The biggest thing is be ready to take direction, because some of these callbacks, you're just acting the whole time. So be ready to change and take whatever they give you. Be well read on your play. That's the biggest thing. They're going to ask you, oh, you made these choices in your audition. Why? What about your character motivated this decision? Sometimes the callback is also just an interview. Sometimes they'll say, hi, nice to meet you. Tell us about yourself. Why are you auditioning for grad school? Why are you ready to take your acting career? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? These are questions you need to have answered before, and you need to have ready, because that's not a question you want to answer on the spot. And they'll also ask you, do you have any questions for us? That's your time to ask, what about tuition? What about the classes you take? What do you offer your students? In my humble opinion, I would never go to an MFA program where I have to pay. And I got 3 callbacks for Columbia, and the defining factor in me choosing Columbia or this program that I chose was the tuition, because I'm not going into $80,000 of debt for my first year and living in New York for an MFA. I just think that's something you need to think about and weigh heavily, and there are amazing programs that are free, that are full tuition. You'll be paid to do it because they'll offer you assistantships where you teach the undergrad students. Those are programs worth going to. It's not about the name always. It's really how talented are you and what can you learn? How can you grow? And you don't have to grow at Juilliard and spend $1 bajillion. You can grow in the middle of Kansas if they have a really cool program. Be open to other programs. That's why I really liked doing IRDAs, is because there were some amazing programs that once you read what they offer, you're like, damn, this is a good school. I had never heard of it before. At the end of the day, you're there for training, you're there for education, and the big names might not always have the training and education you want. Here are some common mistakes. Being outlandish. Don't be outlandish. That's your audition is not the time to show, I'm so quirky, I'm so silly, oh, I just made a mistake. Don't waste these people's times. Go in there, say confident, say, hello, my name is whatever, I'm here to do a piece from whatever. Yeah, this is me. Once you reach the interview stage, that's your time that you can show a little bit more of your personality, and you can be yourself, but be professional also. Remember, this is a graduate program at the end of the day, so you don't have to be, but also don't be like, there's a fine balance. Don't try and be funny. Don't try and, I don't know. I've seen it happen because I've been on the opposite side of regular castings and things like that. And I see actors, I'm like, what are you doing? You look unprofessional and you look stupid when you try and be funny. When we're trying to do a business, we're trying to hire you, So it's don't use that moment to show your quirk. The quirk comes, they'll see the quirk. More big mistakes is just not being, this is a general mistake, it's just not being prepared. You have to have prepared yourself, answered all of the potential questions about you personally, of who are you, why grad school, where are you going to see yourself in 5 years. These are the questions that came up every single time, and having an actual answer and not being oh, well, I don't know, I really love acting. It's no, everybody does. That's why we're all here. What specifically do you want out of this program, and what do you want out of grad school? And that same preparation applies to your pieces. Read your plays. Know it inside out. You just did a monologue from Act 4, Scene 3. Be ready to answer questions and know about Act 1, Scene 2. It's that type of preparation. Know it through and through, and the preparation will take you so far, and it'll show the recruiters, hey, she knows what she's talking about. She did her homework. And now that I've been over the mistakes, I would like to offer the advice. Number 1, be happy and easy. Happy to be here, easy to work with. They are investing money into you. When you go to a very good program, the tuition is usually free. They're investing, mind you, a school's tuition, let's say it's $40,000. Programs are 3 years. They're investing over $100,000 in you. You're one of 12. Why are you worth the investment? And finally, a no isn't a no forever. You don't know what these schools are looking for. You don't know how frivolous their casting requirements are for their new class. So don't let a no be so personal, and don't let it be of an indication of oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not a good actor. Plenty of good actors didn't go to grad school, number 1. And number 2, at the end of the day, it could come down to, we have 2 blondes already, we don't need another one. Oh, she's too tall and we don't have another male that we casted that is taller than her, so we can't have her in any romance plays. I don't know. A lot of these programs like to include people in their cohorts. It's not across the board, but it's noticeable. Early 30s. A lot of these programs want actors that they can help refine, but show us that you're an actor, that you've worked professionally. So if you don't get in and accepted anywhere on your first attempt straight out of undergrad, that's very normal. That's very, very normal. 90% of people don't get accepted straight out of undergrad, and it's kind of a blessing in disguise, because in that time, that year that you have to wait for the next cycle, what are you doing? You're working, you're adding to your resume, you're learning new things, you're bringing more meat to the table for your application in the next year. My first year auditioning for grad schools, I got 0 callbacks. My second time auditioning, I got 3 callbacks, no offers. My third year, which was this year auditioning, I got 7 callbacks and 3 offers. It's meant to happen when it happens, and when it does finally happen, you will find the program that's meant for you. And if grad school isn't even the way for you to go, there's no harm in that either. It's not the end all be all. Just have faith, prepare, and comment if you have any questions, and I can help you answer them maybe. I've been through this process so many times, but it does feel earned when it finally pays off. Best of luck and break a leg.